In the broadcast booth, Paul. Big game coming here tonight. Regis trying to get to that second place spot in the conference before playoffs start. Cougars can't really mathematically get into playoffs, but just trying to play to spoil the party here tonight.
Yeah, Regis has had a great season so far. They probably have two of the best wins in the RMAC with wins back-to-back against Colorado School of Mines and MSU Denver. Now they're tied in that second spot with MSU Denver, knowing that most likely CSU Mines, it will be held in Golden, Colorado if it does get to a Final Four, so it will be within the city. But the matchup that you want to have that 2-3 slot instead of falling down all the way to that 4 spot where you have to play Mines in their first game in the semifinal. So this is a really big game. You got to make sure that you don't slip out, and in order to do that, you got to win this game here against the Cougars. But for the Cougars, again, just like the women's team, you got an opportunity to play spoiler and kind of give them a little bit more pressure going into the last game of the season with the Rangers.
Steps inside of the paint, takes a floater, no good. Rebounded by Promise, puts the cleanup away.
You like that, though, by Everson. He's been showing a little bit more aggression on the offensive end. Has scored in double figures in 3 of the 4 past games. Got off to a slow start to start his graduate season, second season with the Cougars. Puts that up, and Promise cleans it up.
Mayo Harmon.
Wow.
Good finish there.
And, I mean, he has so much power. It's kind of deceiving with this frame that he has right there, but you saw in the previous 2 plays that he wants to hit the roll man right there, but he just puts his body right into his defender and just gets an easy layup.
Gets away. Kicks it out to Jalen Brown for 3 attempts. That one's good.
Yeah, and this team is going to hit wide open shots. You can't let them leak out like that. You got to close out or stick to them. But it's so hard because these drivers into the lane are able to get such easy shots.
Quickly inbounded to Reichert. Into the middle to Brett.
Wow.
One-handed dunk.
And what an ATO right there, coming out of the timeout, drawing up something for Promise Idiaro. Looked like he was going to slip out for a shot, but cuts to the basket for a wide-open dunk. Great pass by Reichert. It's a good sign for the Cougars that they're getting others to help and contribute outside your number one offensive scorer. If they want a chance to win this game, he's got to get a little bit more involved in these offensive sets. Ooh.
Here comes Everson, able to get the layup attempt to go.
Yeah, and you got to seal off. Good play right there by C.J. Barnes for a wide-open layup, but that's going to get reviewed for a little bit of a hostile act. He did come above the shoulders in the head area. Referees stopped that play entirely after the made bucket. The made bucket will count, but what happens after will determine whether it's excessive and leading towards a flagrant foul. And, that's just one of those plays where, Barnes makes such good plays here and there. He has great vision. You see a cross-court pass right there. You see him sealing in low, getting good position, but sometimes letting the emotions get the best of him on some plays and just kind of getting a little bit out of hand right there is you see a little bit of a hostile act. And, I do think it will probably be upgraded to a flagrant 1, but let's hope it's just that most. And I don't think necessarily with that game, you're going to be playing in the Ordigger's gym at that point with a 2-3 matchup. And really, home court doesn't matter in that case scenario. You're going to be both in the city of Denver where both your schools are located. But both teams want to be playing their best ball going into that game. And obviously, MSU coming off of a loss to CC Pillow, and now Regis Rangers coming off slow against the Cougars right here. It's Bradley Lane with a great drive to start the second half. But still a very important ball game. You need to get that rhythm going into the tournament and hopefully get another seeding going into regionals as well.
A screen. Idiaru driving.
Great drive.
And a layup and the and one.
And a little bit of chirping for Ty Cox, who he just can't guard anybody on the court. Land was taking advantage of him deep in the paint, and then now off a rip and drive by Idiaru, he gets an and one opportunity. Obviously, it's a late night game. It's heading off 9 o'clock. It might be the next day in Eastern Time Zone, Gordon.
Reichert, step backs for a 3. Just arcing too much on that one. Didn't reach the rim.
And shout out to those East Coast viewers if we do have those, Gordon. Or overseas, possibly. We have Promise Idiaru from Germany.
True.
Watching the next day, presumably on Friday now. Friday morning in Germany. Guten Tag.
Woodbury slows things down now. Back up top to Bradley Land. He's going to drive in.
Wow.
And gets the layup.
You know, one thing I don't think that doesn't get talked about as much is his touch around the rim. He's got great touch. That's not an easy shot going over the outstretched arms and then trying to lay that on the rim soft enough for it to get a double bounce.
Here's Udvuddy's going to take a three. No good. Rebounded by Idiaru. Riker now will take an attempt. That one's good.
Wow.
Nothing but net. Tie game.
You know, the previous shot by Riker didn't look good coming out of his hands. This one looked pure right off the jump. Tied ball game. Cougars battling. Cougars just were hanging around. Then all of a sudden, after that under 12 media timeout, they took the lead and then didn't give it back up by that point. If the Cougars can get something right here, seize momentum and take the first lead that they had in a while, or maybe even for the whole game.
Law. He's got 5 to shoot inside of the paint.
Wow!
Layup!
You knew that was good. He got the position, dug under Achara. Nice right hand on the opposite side of the rim, using the rim to block that shot. Being Bradley Hands
takes the three. Yeah! There he is, Bradley Land.
Wow. And that matchup right there, he had Brian on him. I thought he was going to drive on him, but elected to take the deep three right there as that one goes off the heel for Mayo. The Cougars take it right back, up 2 now as we head under 8. And Bradley Land, that's just a testament to his work and all the hours he's put in on the gun, working on that three-point shot. Oh, we got another opportunity here, Gordon.
On the way.
Oh.
Just shy. Idiaro, big rebound. Gets the cleanup.
That's been there all night. They can't stop Idiaro on the offensive glass. So much length trying to block him out. Page has had trouble all night.
Of Trey Bryan, he's charging.
Wow.
Pass, Chase Mayo Harmon with the and one.
And again, it just feels like we're watching deja vu. Cougars get back into the lead. Cut it down. Jalen Brown gets the bucket right there. This time on the break, you got a no-look dish into there for another and one opportunity for the Rangers to go back ahead.
Everson near side looking for a screen option.
Oh, he's going to take this.
Everson.
He's going to take this.
Crossover. It's 3 attempts. Yeah! Jake Everson! Give him a Michelin star because he is cooking! Timeout Cougars!
You saw him set that up. He kind of backed up knowing that he had the matchup that he wanted. Hit a difficult shot on the left wing a couple minutes ago. This one straight away off dead center. Nylon, my goodness. He wasn't lying when he said he was going up tonight, Gordon. And when you played that much college ball, you had so much experience. You know these moments. You need to hit big shots like that. When you have 2 games left in your collegiate career, this is the moments that you have worked for so long, and it's finally paying off.
Brown now. He's got 5 to shoot. Brown gets a shot off and one off the glass.
I mean, it feels like every time, that's 3 times now where the Cougars have the lead. The Rangers get an and one opportunity to either tie it or take the lead. And Brown, like we said, are the stars going to show up in the moments that they need to show up? Brown was silent in the first half. Now, getting going.
Trying to pull the upset.
That's all.
Brown for a 3. Just missed it. Rebounded by Reichert.
Oh, and that's who you want to foul if you're the Rangers right there.
And they foul Everson.
Wow. They got the look that they wanted with Brown, who was coming off hot in the past few minutes right there. Had the rebound come off to Reichert. Reichert, probably the worst free throw shooter on the court for the Cougars at that moment. Wisely gives up the ball quick. Gives it up to Everson, who has been perfect on the night. Kind of a one-on-one player, and sometimes in the college offense, you don't necessarily want to take those shots. You have to play in system and in rhythm. But at that point, Jake Everson just decided to take over. He has 2 games, now 1 game left in his college career. Hits tough shots because he practices tough shots. Great effort on the boards by Promise Idiaru, and Bradley Lang gives us his 15+ like he always does. Great performance tonight by the Cougars.
Max standings 3-6 are the Cougars. The Grizzlies are 2-7, so a game separates them within the bottom half. A win here would pay big dividends on either side to stay within the grasp of an RMAC playoff spot in that 7 or 8 range. The Cougars and the Grizzlies, they've had a really good matchups in the past. Obviously last year with that 1-point victory that came down to the wire for the Cougars on a Schaefer-Reichert shot at the end of the game, so expect another good one here.
Saying he'll go for the 3 attempts off the back iron. Udvuddy for the big rebound. Goes up for the layup, no good, but gets the foul call.
And you got to love that offensive effort on the glass by Udvuddy, creating a second opportunity, pump fake, got his defender in the air, and will get a chance for 2 free throws. And it's going to be very difficult for the Cougars to get into the paint. We've already seen a couple of shots blocked in that paint area. First it was Bradley Land, and next one was Schaefer-Reichert. His shot affected by the length and the versatility that his guards and small forward that the Grizzlies will present.
finds Bobby McWard. Idiaru will take it himself. Nice shot from Promise Idiaru.
Just before that, I was about to say for the Cougars, don't fall in love with the three right there, but they've been getting a lot of open looks. Promise Idiaru finally hits the first three for the Cougars.
Tapia up top. He'll take the
fadeaway
three. Oh, my goodness. Drew Tapia.
I just knew that was in the second it left off of his hand. When a defender goes on your right side, he did a quick jab step off of Schaefer Riker, got him out of position. Another three by Tapia. Whew. And this pace has just been up and down and very frantic, very advantageous for the play that the Grizzlies want to go in. And obviously a shooting team like this, they want to get out in transition and find these threes, and they've been hitting them. But Cougars, very slow, methodical offense, kind of playing outside of their system, and it's kind of rushed them a little bit. Has forced a lot of turnovers and forced a lot of rush shots that they're not used to shooting. But fortunate enough, the Cougars have been in the bonus for a while, having to capitalize on these free throws right here. Another offensive rebound by Udvity. He's just been on the offensive glass the whole night.
Idiaru driving in, spinning, shooting.
Wow.
Nice shot and great body.
And they're just showing it from in and out right now. Helming, great touch on that post move. Got to his right hand, extended over Idiaru.
Uniforms in powder blue. Trim Everson from the
wow.
the free throw line.
And I've been waiting to say, but that's been the president of the MIDI committee spot right there. He's been a little slow this year with his mid-range as compared to his first year with the Cougars, but I've loved his aggression so far in this game.
The newly 24-year-old just had his birthday this past Thursday night.
More life.
And a great drive there from Alex Herr against the Grizzlies.
And that's the second grown man's drive into the paint right there by Herr. He had one discarding Shaylin Woodbury in the first half. This time he just disposes of Jake Everson, gives him a quick body shot, kind of had him stuttering for a little bit.
Corner, back to Land. Land driving, fadeaway
I love
shot
that.
On the elbow.
And from our vantage, that looked money from the get-go right there. Just great spin move, got to his spot, and just elevated.
During halftime for them to respond back in the second half.
Yeah, when you're facing a deficit of 16 points coming out of halftime, you kind of want to break it into the media timeouts and how you want to split it. You obviously want to get to that first under 16 timeout with about maybe cut into that lead for 12 or 11, but the Cougars have outdone that. They've gotten this all the way down to single digits at 9, and Cougars keep chipping away because of this defensive pressure that they're hitting on. Oof.
Can't get the finish. Udvity with the cleanup.
I mean, how many times tonight, Gordon, has Udvity just been in the right place, right time, offensively and defensively, getting steals and then offensive rebounds right now? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Gordon. I mean, you could just see that. And like we just said, he wasn't forcing shots. He knows when to take the shots and what time is appropriate to take those shots. And he knows that Cougars are starting to gain a little bit more momentum. I got to cut into that by going to Old Reliable in my shot.
It's Udvity. Back to Promise Idiaru at the top. Nice bounce pass to Bradley Land. Spins away. Woo! One-handed jam.
Oh, big possession right here defensively. Oh, no.
Tapia, three on the way. That's good. No. Every single time.
And like I said, Gordon, the defense is collapsing on the drives to the paint, which leaves wide open shooters to the corner. And that's not a shooter that you need to leave wide open, with Tapia hitting his 8th three of the night, tying a season high.
Pass down low to
great
Bradley
pass.
Land. Riker gets the finish.
Wow, what a great feed into Bradley Land. They know he's prone to getting that post shot up, but then Schaefer Riker, timely cut. Only down by 7.
Give and go to Riker. Land pump fakes the three, drives in.
Yep.
With the finger roll layup.
And it was about time that Bradley Land had woken up. I told you he needed to go onto that bench for a little bit of rest and get his head back on his shoulders. Know that this is his type of a ball game to take over.
Xavier Martinez.
Yeah, and that was one of the better games that we saw last year, Gordon. That was late December, one of the first matches in conference play for both sides. The Cougars were able to get a win out of that. But like you said, it was a wake-up call for Xavier Martinez. But that was the first game we actually saw Bradley Land actually take a step up as well. If I'm not mistaken, he had a 20-point, 10-rebound game and kind of came onto the scene and kind of let the RMAC know what he was about. Obviously, he's in RMAC preseason player of the year contention. He'll be on watch list to come forth as well. But Xavier Martinez, great lead guard for the Mountain Lions. It should be a great matchup between the both of them.
Checking in with Mackenzie as Jones gets into the action immediately with a nice little floater.
And that's just too easy. You find a wide open space in the paint, nobody collapses on him, and he gets a wide open floater without any contest.
up in Boulder and then made his way to the NBA. Here's a three now on the way from Derek Pranger.
That's a
He's on
tough shot
fire
by Pranger right there. He's an unorthodox player. Obviously, kind of gives you a stretch four type of big, really good length, and able to create it for himself on that deep three. On this end, you got to get Bradley Lane going right here, and I just love that he just has to take matter into his own hands. Not a lot is working for anybody else on the offensive end, but you got to go back to your bread and butter, what has worked all season. If you need offense, you got to go back to your leading scorer.
Left-handed shot. Can't get it to go. And here's a quick transition play for UCCS. Oh, my, what a play there.
And that's transition basketball. You look up ahead, your eyes are up, you find your man in the middle, and he finds his man cutting to the lane. Gets a wide-open dunk.
What up?
To be made as well. Not going to get it back in one possession. It has to be possession by possession.
Martinez with a big-time three all by himself there.
And if you know ball, he plays exactly like Xavier Lee from Princeton. And if you watch that Princeton team, he leads that team. He's the same type of build. He's the same type of player. Makes the right plays. Doesn't force shots. Get his teammates involved. This guy has the makings of an all-conference point guard for the next 2 to 3 years at UCCS. You know, who's going to show you that they really want to play in this ball game? You are down 19 before you go into half. Who's going to show you that they want to fight and they want to be out here and be in this game, no matter what the score is, and give you that full effort? That's what Coach Simmons is looking for. The Cougars need to do more of that.
Xavier Martinez pump fakes the three, goes all the way to the layup, and good.
Wow.
How about that play from Martinez?
So savvy and so witty with the ball. Pump fake, gets his defender up in the air, drives into the lane. Easy lay.
Oh, and cut back to that replay from that offensive possession from UCCS, all starting from Xavier Martinez, and he's the one that finishes the play.
You know, they run a little off-ball screen right there. Obviously, Martinez has hit a couple of threes, so Land is going to jump at anything right now, obviously. Gets that wide open lane, no help side D to collapse on. This is what you want right here.
Land driving with his right hand with some power there.
And that's a mismatch every time. Yeah, the Mountain Lions are defeating the Cougars in every facet of the game that you could think. Obviously, when you're hitting shots at a high clip from outside the arc, you're most likely going to have the lead, and they have a 21-point lead going to the second half. What I want to see from the Cougars, they just got to fight. They got to show that they want to play this game. And obviously, you know, not a lot of crowd here. People still rolling in from the holidays. A little bit of a break. Have some fans here, but you got to show them something at least. They came out for your time. You got to put on a performance that they were proud of.
Paul Sanchez. Paul, good to be back up here with you. What are you expecting from tonight's game from the Cougars because this is technically an exhibition game for Berkeley College?
Yeah, this is a game where the Cougars should be able to dominate early and quick. They're coming off of their toughest week of the season so far when you played two Division I teams, starting off with Northern Colorado. Anytime I think of that Northern Colorado game, it reminds me of Dalton Connect versus Jason Gallant when they went in there and got that 2-point win. But you got to dominate from the stretch right here as Schaefer Riker misses this layup, though.
Riker misses it for McWard, getting the start for the Cougars. Passes it down low to C.J. Barnes underneath, and a nice layup to get the first points.
That's a great move right there by Barnes, getting past Timbo. He does have the size advantage around him, just a little spin move around the baseline. Got the open bucket on the right side.
Cougars. Here's Bradley Land now with a great drive.
And that's so hard to defend when you have your two bigs doing a pick and roll. You don't know which one to switch on.
Oh, now on the right elbow. He'll drive inside of the paint, and a nice layup there.
Yeah, both bigs have been able to take advantage of a slimmer frame from Tembo. Barnes with the first bucket of the game right there, and Promise, even though he's slim right there, he has so much length to get around on that left side.
Nice pass underneath, little kick out pass. Here's a deep two attempt. Nylon there.
And again, that's Anthony Garrett Towns. Hit from the right side, but this time from the left. Have to give him the nickname AGT, not America's Got Talent. That's just Anthony Garrett Towns right there.
Playing to Nathaniel Law, pump fakes the three. He'll go for the drive, and all the way, count it.
Great move right there by Nathaniel Law. Just getting the shoulder past his defender and driving down the lane, getting that and one right there. In this game, when there's not a lot of fans, obviously, going into Thanksgiving break, you got to create the energy yourself. There's not a lot of energy in the stadium. You got to start making plays both in the offense and defensive end to get back in this game.
Bradley Land at the baseline. Nice pass out to CJ Barnes underneath. Puts up a nice little floater.
And I was going to say before that offense possession, so many passes are going outside the arc. You need to get into the paint right away within 20 seconds of the play. Great post entry right there to Land. Finds Barnes on the other side.
Great performance last game. Stripped out of his hands, and now Peterson on the
Nick
Zion.
Okay,
Nick block.
You could just see that coming with Nick not giving up on that play, trailing his defender, but not giving up and coming down for that chase down block.
Right.
But as we got Schaefer Reichert on the drive, but CJ Barnes
with the two-handed jam there.
Oh my goodness. Hammer time from CJ Barnes on that offensive rebound. Bradley Lane from 3.
Land
Great drive.
Spins around.
Yes, sir, Bradley.
The and one. Excuse me, that was Nunez, not Taylor.
Okay, Bobby.
For
Okay,
three.
Bobby.
Money.
Okay, Bobby. Good.
Likes the loose change. Here comes Noah Khan with an opportunity to lay up.
Pass.
Bradley Land thought about the three, didn't go for it.
Bread and butter, though.
CJ Barnes! Two-handed dunk!
Good dish by Bradley Lane.
7 seconds on the shot clock for the Cougars. Everson,
Oh,
step
wow.
back three!
Oh, wow. I mean, one dribble between the legs and just pull up with no hesitation again from Everson. That's his third 3 of the game.
Howard stolen by Robinson. Goes up to the lane.
Smoked! Smoked!
Loses the
Oh, my
layup
goodness.
there.
Oh,
My goodness.
and I mean, maybe.
Sure, that'll change later on. Udbuddy, 3 down in the corner, connects.
Great pass by Noah Khan, drew 2 defenders to him while he drove into the paint. So Udbuddy just sprays out to the corner, gets that wide open 3. In a game like this, you need to start cashing those out, and they are cashing them to start this first half if they want to pull off this upset. Right now, he is playing very well.
CJ Barnes almost getting a huge dunk there. My goodness.
You could just see that play coming where he just curled around the top of the key. Everson on the inbound, and Barnes just trying to unload one. But nonetheless, just gets 2 free throws out of it. But just great play to
Caught me off guard. I was looking for notes, and I hear you getting all giddy over here. I'm like, oh, I'm missing something.
Giddy, wow.
You know what I mean.
I do know.
Options plays Bradley Land. Land guarded by Star. Nice charge there! Bradley Land with the right hand tomahawk!
Bradley Land with a body early in this.
A lot of Texas players on this CCU team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Noah Khan, one of them being from Houston, Texas.
Yes, sir. 713-281 rep.
So you know Texas more from me. I'm a Denver native. I know the Colorado stuff. Bradley Land charges in on a body.
I love that.
Nice spin move there.